Hi people, it's me, Anja. My pronouns are she and her, and welcome back to my channel for a new recent reads video. The first book on this list is called Just Ash. This story is a YA contemporary following a young intersex main character who has always grown up as a boy until his period starts to disrupt everything that he's ever known. This story is absolutely so excellent and it's so well done. First of all, the queer representation is so good and it's so awesome. I've always said before, the representation saves lives because it's so necessary and it makes queer people feel represented and seen and valued and heard. And this book was so good. I loved the friendships, the romance is so well paced and it's so cute. I loved the family dynamics. Ash's emotions really came to life so well. The characters are so well developed and so distinct. This book is so good and it's so underrated. I just really enjoyed it from the beginning to the end. This book is excellent and it's just really awesome. So anyway, with that said, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars and I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Come Out, Come Out. This story is a YA horror contemporary following two sapphic main characters who are navigating self-erasure through a supernatural entity as well as their own queer identities. I don't really know if that makes any sense at all, but this book is so good, and I wasn't really expecting it to be at all, because frankly, I've read books before by this author. They previously wrote the Sea File trilogy, which I started the first book of back in high school, but I never quite completed the trilogy. I've read their middle grade books before, but anyway, the point is, I wasn't really expecting to rate this book anything higher than 3 stars, so when I did, I was pleasantly surprised, especially since it's horror. Horror is one of those genres that I often read to pass the time, but not really to dive into the characters or the dynamics or the queerness of it all or anything like that, and this book was so good. First of all, Horne and Jack are both such well-developed characters, and I love them both individually as well as their friendship together. This book is excellent. The queerness was so good and so well-developed and just so awesome. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. I loved the friendship between the two of them and also between the 3 of them. If you know, you know. This book is excellent. The flashbacks worked so well. The world building is so atmospheric. And it wasn't really scary at all, if that really makes any sense, which is another reason why I tend to avoid supernatural stories, except when it comes to ghosts. But anyway, I digress. This book is excellent and I really enjoyed it. So with that said, I rated it 4 out of 5 stars and I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Full Shift. This story is a YA urban fantasy graphic novel that follows a young sapphic werewolf who would do anything to be human. And this book is so good. First of all, the illustrations are so pretty and so vivid and so vibrant. The art is so good. The plot is so engaging and so intriguing. The sapphic romance was well-paced and very cute. Although I didn't super buy that they were best friends, just because best friends to lovers doesn't really translate super well in a graphic novel, since the beginning of their relationship, their friendship, was shown through telling rather than showing, if that really makes any sense. But they had chemistry, so the romance was cute and it was adorable and it was well done. The mystery was interesting too. The world building was so good. Like I said before, I love the werewolves, I love the pack. This book is so good. And I also loved the character arc and the parallels to queerness and queer themes, if that really makes any sense. This book is so excellent and it really exceeded my level expectations. So anyway, all that to say, I rated this book 4 out of 5 stars and I would definitely highly recommend it. The next book on this list is called Everything We Never Had. This story is a YA contemporary historical fiction that follows 4 generations of Filipino men ranging from 1930 to 2020. And honestly, I didn't really like this book as much as I was really hoping to. And I think that's completely my fault because I set my expectations too high, because I kept comparing this book to other generational YA stories that I've read recently, specifically The Blackwoods and Only This Beautiful Moment. And don't get me wrong, I really appreciated the Filipino culture and history that I learned from the 30s and the 50s and the 80s that I've never really learned about before. And I definitely need to do some more research into everything that was happening to Filipinos in America as well as in the Philippines and all of that. Like, I love historical fiction for education purposes because I love learning about new things that I was never really taught in school, if that makes any sense. However, for me, when it came to this story, I wasn't really drawn in by the characters, if that makes any sense. Like, the plot was definitely more interesting to me, and I just prefer character-driven YA stories in general. I don't know if any of that really makes any sense at all, and also the ending to me felt really unfinished as well. I don't know how to elaborate on any of that, but basically, I rated this book 3 stars. I don't know if my review really makes any sense, so take that as you will. The last book on this list, and certainly not the least, is called Don't Let It Break Your Heart. This story is a YA contemporary following a young lesbian main character who likes the same girl that her best friend and ex-boyfriend also likes, but it's so much more deeper than that. This story is about how friendships can evolve and change over time, and it's about like being queer in a small town and the isolation that comes with that, and also like creating an identity outside of like the expectations and the things that everyone associates you with, like growing up in a small town. I don't know if that really makes any sense, but I really enjoyed this book so much. First of all, the characters felt like real teenagers, like real people, and I love them. The romance is so cute and it's so well paced. The friendship also is so good and so well done. I love like lifelong best friendships so much, and this book is so excellent. The writing is excellent. The queerness is so nuanced and it's so well done. And like, this book is so good. And I truly loved it. Like, I was crying. This book is excellent. It made me cry 3 to 4 times. And I truly loved it so much from the beginning to the end. The writing is excellent. This book is so good. I love the queerness. I love the character dynamics. I love it all. So anyway, with that said, I rated this book 5 out of 5 stars. And I would definitely highly recommend it. So in conclusion, lately I've been pre-filming my videos 2 weeks in advance. So for context, today is August 30th. But anyway, if you enjoy this video, please don't hesitate to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below the lion emoji if you made it all the way to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel if you're new. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!